Hey guys. All right. Oh, there she is. Liv, I just sent you. Hey guys, we this is our weekly cosmic gift.
Hello. How are you?
I'm gonna shower after my run before I come on here. And did that happen? No. Did not
No,
happen.
but life is what happens while we're busy making plans, right? So
Oh my God.
so good
All
to
the
see you.
plans. It is so good to see you. Um, Guys, of course, Liv and I were like texting right before, and then we're like, well, come on. We're gonna come on today. Hey everyone, just coming in. Hi from India, Western Australia. This is so great. Where are you guys from? Let us know. And thank you for joining us for our weekly Cosmic Tea. Oh my God.
That's really crazy. Australia, that's so far away.
I
So
love Australia.
yeah, there's so many people in here. I like can't even get to them all. So just know I'm sending you so much love to every single person. Listen, it's so good to see you.
It is so good to see you, my soul cosmic twin over there.
I know.
And you're
Utah.
going to be here next week.
Yeah, I'm going to actually I'm going back to the sun. I can't. I'm actually going to work down there. But yeah, I'm really excited. So I'm hoping we can have some in-person tea.
Oh my gosh, that's what we should do next week. We should do it in person.
Can you
USA,
imagine?
Australia. Oh my gosh. Um, yeah, well, we'll talk offline about that.
Mm-hmm.
More love from India and Western Australia.
That Utah.
Yeah, Utah, where's everybody else from? Oh my gosh. I used to go to, for those of you that don't know, I was a fashion designer for many years. And I used to go to Australia 4 times a year. Old Surrey Hills, right outside Bondi Beach. I love,
You've just
although I want to make my way to, I have yet to see New Zealand and I really want to go.
you've Miami. I've not been to Australia. I've been to so many places, but never Australia. So that's on the list.
I'm like, yes, I'm like, we can go together. All right, guys. So thank you so much. We feel good. All right. Oh my gosh, I'm gonna send all the love. Hi guys. I'm trying to wave and give hearts. Oh my gosh. Okay, so last week, every week we've had such powerful shows. This is our ninth episode.
Yeah, it's crazy to think that.
It's our ninth episode, guys. If you missed any, what we're gonna do on IG is actually do where we start logging them as a series. So when one goes, you can just keep watching the rest, and we'll start linking those all together. If you missed last week, we did unlocking your potential, clearing your blocks, any energetic blocks, emotional blocks, and what was the other piece to that?
I think we just sort of talked about how to find that alignment with where your blocks might be. So
Yeah.
there was a huge response to that. And you know, one of the recurring themes and messages that I've gotten this week is you know, a lot of women actually asking me, at what point in my life did I stop caring what other people thought of me and just sort of lived unapologetically? And of course the answer is I'm still doing that because we're not a end finished product. But I think that's really powerful because as we talk about identifying the blocks, how can we help ourselves to move past them without that fear of judgment? Because that judgment piece is really heavy. You know, people want to do something or they want to go after the job, but they're so overwhelmed, concerned what others will think about them.
No, it's so true. Like, so I know for me, and we shared this, like, when I turned, for me, I was at like 40. And I was just like, and I'm out. Like, I don't give a fuck what anybody says. It was fascinating because I'm like, why didn't I have this gift earlier? Because you do see people, especially, I find it so incredible and inspiring meeting other women that are just so unapologetically themselves. And I have to say that it is something where I think many that even do it have to actually, I don't want to speak for them, but I know within myself, anytime I've stepped into that space, sometimes it's just like, I don't care, I'm just putting it out. And it was actually just a shift in my consciousness of like, I don't have any more room for that type of thinking within me about any lack mentality, or like, if you don't like me, you don't need to follow me. If you don't like me, and really getting out of that. And I will also say that stepping into the unknown and being in that space where you're pushing yourself out of that, I do think that there's always kind of like that, that adjustment of like, I'm just going to do it anyway. Like, this doesn't actually feel good, but I'm just going to do it because I'd rather be true to myself. It actually, even though it feels scarier, I'd rather be true to myself, or I'd rather be authentically me, or I'd rather be vulnerable in this scenario than the latter, which is me hiding who I am and resenting it afterwards, or having regrets about not actually saying what was on my mind or fully powerfully showing up. So I think that I think it's a part of being human. But that's been my experience with it.
I think you're so right. And, you know, my experience has been much the same in that I think I just sort of got to a point where that discord that you feel when you know that you are being called to do something, and there's external forces or something that's sort of pulling you the other way, and you know how horrible that feels, and that's really like anxiety provoking. And so that's your first identification that you are putting too much weight on the opinions of other people, is that you want to do something but you're afraid of the judgment factor. And so the way that we slowly kill our joy and our energy is that we begin to just say no chronically to the things that really should be a hell yes. We talk a lot about saying no, you know, or saying no to things that are not good for us, but we can also limit ourselves by not saying yes to the things that, you know, really light us up, that we feel like we should go after. But
were we just talking about this, literally going back and forth on a message? Yeah.
We were. And so, you know, that's the first identification factor is how do you feel about it? Do you feel like, boy, I really want to do that, but you can hear what somebody else has to say or their judgment? Let me tell you that other people can't live your life experience for you. Right. And so when you get that really down and you recognize that no one showed up on this earth to hold you as their focal point of attraction or anything for their life, your life becomes a lot easier. It really begins and ends with you. You have to identify what are the things that make me happy. And then you just have to, in my opinion, you know, digest them. But then it's crazy because I think as you get older, you want to run more towards things that are the hell yes, you know, and at least that's been my experience is the older that I've gotten, I've been like, yeah, I know I really want that. So I'm going to be all in on that.
See, that's so funny because I've noticed as I've gotten older, sometimes depending on how big it is, there's more of a, oh, wow, that could really go in a different way. Like there's more on the line versus, you know, when I was younger, and I consider myself definitely a risk taker. But that's been interesting. I also, and guys, while we're doing this, if you have any questions, if you're resonating, definitely let us know. Hit those emojis, invite your friends in. If you have any questions about what we're talking about, we would love to know, you know, are you wanting to put yourself out there, and what's been stopping you? What are you really a hell yes to? And because I find that maybe is usually like, I'm trying to make something happen, but it's not really what I want, but I don't actually believe I can get what I want. So I'm going to be in the maybe zone. And I find that the universe really wants to know, like, we're giving you something. Are you a hell yes? And if not, that barometer, I think the simplest way to know, and I always say, the path to feeling good never feels bad. So if you want weight loss, you know the ways and habits that aren't supporting you. If you want to be healthy, you know the ways and habits that aren't supporting you. Like, we all know the difference between a negative thought and a positive. Like, when you are hearing higher consciousness, when you're hearing the voice of the divine within you, it feels good. It's saying loving things. There is nothing that's amiss or unaligned. There's no anxiety in the body. There's no oh, that doesn't feel good. It doesn't derail you and take you down that negative spiral. So if you're ever just going, well, how do I know that voice? How do I know what's right? How do I know the voice of the ego versus what I'm being guided to? What you're being guided to generally feels good. It doesn't mean it won't scare you, because that's on the same energetic plane as excitement, but it still will be like that scares me, but it excites me at the same time, right? And versus when you just hear that voice, it's like, you can't do that. There's no way you're going to make that happen. And you just feel bad inside, because the idea that that could be your truth doesn't feel good. It wasn't meant for you. It isn't your truth, right? Because you wouldn't have the desire to begin with.
Correct. That's so right. And so, you know, all those things that we feel like are impossible, and we think, gosh, well, I have this dream, or I want this thing, or I want this person, but it feels really bad. That's also an indicator that, you know, what is possible, because you wouldn't have the thought, or you wouldn't have the desire if it wasn't possible. You're not lining up with it energetically. And so your work is to really line up with it, and to just make sure that you're becoming. I actually just posted something on this from Sean Whalen, that it's about sort of becoming who, okay, so it's not about getting the 6-pack abs. It's not about getting the $30 million beach house. It's about what type of person, what vibrational or energetic version of you lives that life, or is with that person, or looks like that, or feels this way. So that feeling is the quickest way to link up with it. And so that's really the only question. You don't have to figure out how, or the steps. You don't have to figure out the how, you just have to figure out the why. And I think a lot of that really has to do with how much do you believe that you deserve that thing or that dream, because that is the deal breaker. You know, if you don't believe it,
oh my gosh,
even if it shows up, it won't work out. And if you do believe it, even if it doesn't show up, it doesn't matter, because the feeling and the thought of believing it is enough until it comes into your experience.
I just shared, and for anybody that's not aware, Liv, I just love you. Joe Dispenza's work, which is incredible. And he has a great book, Breaking the Habit of Being Yourself. He runs incredible retreats, like just everything. He's an amazing man, and everything he teaches. But it's fascinating because just doing like the scientific research, you know, you can look at piano players, right? Like they did a study, and you've got those that actually were piano players, and they sat and did not actually sit at a piano, but ran the act of doing it in their head, running the music, the notes, as if they spent that many hours doing it. They studied their brains in 4 days versus actual piano players that actually sat at a piano for 5 hours and played music. There was no difference. Those that visualized it and saw it happening were able, when they were told to go to the piano and sit down and play the music, were able to play the music, and their brain showed the same activity, if not even more enhanced, than those that actually sat physically doing the work, which proves the point about what Liv was saying about, do you believe that it can happen? Are you feeding your mind the vision? It's in the feeding of the mind. The mind doesn't know the difference between a dream or reality. So feed your mind what it is that you want to see. And how do we do that? It's not even so much, if you want a new home, see yourself walking into the no home. How would it feel? You've got the keys in your hand. You're just walking in. What does that feel like? If you've got the love of your life, how does it feel when they hold your hand? You see them, all of a sudden you're with them. Bring them into the vision. You know, you at your ideal weight, see yourself stepping on a scale. See, I don't really believe in the scale, but like you can do that. See yourself in that space of like, oh my God, I did it. I did this for me. Like I actually surpassed my own like block there. Like I did this. Get into the feeling state and see and allow the vision to come. And it's not so much, because people will say to me, well, I can't see anything. You don't need to see something. allow for the feeling and the visions will come, right?
Absolutely. So it's not about, you know, I believe it when I see it. It's you'll see it when you believe it. And that's
Absolutely.
really, you know, the foundation of what I think, you know, it's how everything that we experience, the chair, a table, this, you know, computer, the desk, everything was once a thought. It was once thought form. So every single thing that we are experiencing around us began as thought. Someone somewhere thought that was possible, and now it's a commonplace experience. So
yes,
don't limit yourself to like, could this happen, could that happen? You know, your dreams are just as valuable as anybody else's. And I think to circle back around, knowing that it really comes down to worth, is that you have just as much a right to be in this life, to be dreaming as big as you are, to be, you know, absolutely going after the gold medal and everything, as anybody else. So when people ask me, how do I not give a fuck what anyone thinks of me? It's because no one's in my life. No one's in my life but me. I mean, I have people that I love, that I adore, that are in my life, but it begins and it ends with me. And I have a really healthy appreciation and understanding of that. And I don't limit myself. It's never a, could that be me? It's always been a, why not me? Well, I would say like the majority of my adult life. It's not like we came out of the womb and we were like, boom. It takes effort. It takes reprogramming. The ways you can do that, mantras, the ways you can do that, meditation, the ways you can do that, self-care, writing. We've talked about this so often. Writing is such a great tool to get it out of the ethereal, out of the thought state, and into, I mean, I was just writing on a piece of paper before we did this. And I think it's also just about you allowing yourself to line up with that. You know, so it's really not about whatever judgment you feel you're going to face from your mom or your coworker or whoever. It's about you and you. It's about the relationship with you and you. That's it.
I mean, they always say, and I love it because, guys, it comes down to this. I did a video on TikTok that was like, you know, have you, yes, I'm on TikTok. Please follow me. It was, you know, are you looking for your soulmate? And the very next question that I asked is, the true definition of a soulmate is mating with your own soul, right? The only opinion that matters is your own. So at the end of the day, if you're not happy with you, does it really matter about anybody else? Because that incongruency within yourself will eat away, right? Like when you have a dream that you just keep not going to, it will just keep coming back. And I know this very well. It will just keep coming back until you're like, okay, I'm a yes, right? Like, I don't know. This scares me so much. There has to be a giant gift on the other side. So I'm just going to do it, girl.
Yeah.
But, you know, and so in this video, I was saying, you know, the true definition of a soulmate is mating with your own soul. Do you love you? Are you happy within you? Do you know what you need? And are you able to give it to you? Right? Because as much as you can call on somebody else, no one can make you happy. Yeah. So at the end of the day, when we started off today's live about how do you put yourself out there and not care what like other people think, or how did you just get to that space where you're just sharing authentically? And it's like, at the end of the day, isn't that what we're all here for, right? Your soul came to expand, it came to express, it came to be seen, it came to experience life here on earth. We are not birds or other things. You came in human form to be that. So you're going to be called to other things. And I often get asked too, like, Melissa, you've had so many different like careers. How did you just keep? And I truly believe that our souls are here to just keep evolving, and that our passions change, just like we have different groups of friends, just like we grow and expand. And as you do, new people come in, new experiences come in, new desires come in. And what I see so often is the pushing down of that, like, no, that feels too different, or no, I can't be that, or that just seems weird that I'm now being expected, or like I have this desire in me and and it's all societal things. It's like, I'm too old to want to wear things like that. I'm too old to start a new career. Oh, well, I've been married so long. We're kind of not in that place anymore to be like that anymore. It's like, who said what? When did you get to a point where it's just like, oh, as I get older, I'm supposed to like not care how I look. My relationship's supposed to become boring and mundane. I'm not supposed to want to have sex anymore. Like none of that makes any sense. Like, and so I don't subscribe to it. I also don't think, I think some people have found what they love to do, and that's taken them throughout their lives. And I think others have multiple passions. And I think it's crazy to think that you wouldn't want to pursue those, because that's what brings the taste and the joy in life. That's what it's like awakens you. It's like going on a vacation to a place you've never known, and every day is a new adventure. We get to experience that each day if we choose, but you have to be open to that and desire that and go, okay, yeah, that's my life. It's not just like those crazy people that I see online that go and we're in the Maldives. Like, it's like, no, that can be you, and it can be anywhere, and it can be in your home, and you can choose it with your partner. But to just think that we have to succumb to like a mundane existence, I don't understand it, and I don't want to be part of it.
Well, and the reason,
therefore I don't live that way.
Well, the reason that it feels so awful is because there's something within you that knows that that's not true. So anytime that you have an experience that you're looking at and you feel like absolute rubbish about, that's your soul sort of saying like, yeah, it's not really the way that we see it, you know? So that's your biggest indicator that your soul or your higher self is looking at something, the exact same thing that you're looking at. And it's like, we didn't really look at it that way. We don't really think about it that way. So it's just a really good, I think, enticement factor to keep searching for a different perspective on something. And I love that. I think that's a great mantra. Who says? Like, who says? And when all else fails, I do. So this company called The Love Bomb sent me this mug, and it says meditate on that shit.
I love The Love Bomb.
So shout out to Love Bomb. And if all else fails, meditate on that shit. And don't enter that meditation thinking I have to find the answer. Just ask to remove everything that isn't the answer, and it will be presented to you. So, but no, I totally agree. I think who says, and I think what's really remarkable is that if you do it the right way, as you get, by the way, there is no wrong way, but as you get older, you can live more and more of a life where you just stop asking permission more and more. And you just sort of are like, you know, none of us are getting out of here alive. So how do you want to do this? How do you want to spend your life? Do you want to spend it settling? Do you want to spend it compromising? Do you want to spend it slowly killing that passion and that dream because that's the way it's always been done? And I don't know about you all, but if you're here, if you're listening to this, chances are you know that that's not the right answer. So there is another way. And that way really elicits this beautiful life where, as Melissa said, you just continue to expand, you just continue to grow. Yeah, you continue to want things. Guess what? You're never going to be done wanting things. And that's a really good thing. So don't let anybody talk you out of that. Don't ever let anybody tell you, just be happy with what you have and don't ever want anything else. Those are people you should not listen to. Be grateful in your life, appreciate what you have, but know that as human beings, as beings, period, we are supposed to continue reaching for that next and that next.
Yes.
You know?
Well, and it's the difference, like, also it's what in psychological terms, right? We talk about it as a fixed mindset. And there's a lot of a fixed mindset. And what we're seeing so much with this pandemic, that I actually think one of the many blessings is that people are opening up to new ways. And they're starting, and they were actually being forced to innovate and to go, wait a minute, like, I'm so clearly unhappy in my life or in my relationship or in both. Or there's a dream that I have that I haven't allowed, or they actually got pushed into new endeavors that they're like, yes, and I love this working from home thing, and I have this like different balance. And some people are having to find their footing in different ways, right? I get, and I don't, and I know a lot of people experience loss and hardship and heartache, and I was one of them in different ways. And so I will also say, though, it's been really beautiful, and in the fixed mindset, and I see something that will really happen as a collective moving forward, is that there's going to be a mass innovation, that the entrepreneurial route is exploding in millennials, younger, and also in older generations that never even thought that they could be open to that. And also, like I just said, just a lot of innovation. And so the invitation here is, I'd love if you look at any areas where you do have a fixed mindset, where you've just kind of, because here's the thing with a fixed mindset, when we have a fixed mindset, we cut off any allowance for opportunities, collaborations, for the universe to come in. So there's always a statement, this or something better. So there's always the desire in your heart or something better. Allow for the greater possibility and the expansion in that, but make a list of, are there any areas in my life where I'm really operating from a fixed mindset on how much money I can make, a fixed mindset. I see that a lot. And I have a lot of people message me and go, hey, like what do I do to create more, money? I'm in a corporate job. And I'm like, well, are you even open to other things coming in? Because it doesn't necessarily have to mean that it's only just in your position. So it's great that you love your job and you're in corporate America, and there are a lot of other things. So what are those passions? What are those? And have we opened up to maybe monetizing? So I just share from the money aspect of really looking at fixed mindsets. You have a fixed mindset, or what some would deem in the energetic world, what would call energetic minimums. I only make this much money. I can only have this much happiness. I can only lose this much weight. Because these are all belief systems that really cement in and block us. And if you can make that list of where you have that fixed mindset and then go, can I be open to the other? What would it be like if I opened up to that realm of possibilities? And really look at, let me open that up and really go, what is the desire on my heart truly with that? And am I just operating something that's actually not what I really want, and where I'm limiting myself? And another area where I'll say that I see this, and I heard this even in my group this past week, which was very much like unhappiness in their job, complete overwhelm in their job, being so busy, and just saying like, this is just the nature of my work. So how often are we just going like, this is just the nature of my work, and this is just, I'm just so busy, and no, I don't have any room to create anything else? Because that's when life is happening to you, and months go by, and all of a sudden it's 2022 and you're going, oh, I didn't make any changes. And because you're operating from a fixed mindset, which means you will constantly replicate everything that you don't want, and your ways of being from the past, because you're constantly reiterating them in the present.
1000%. And in medicine or in psychology, we call that the precognitive commitment, which is like you've already entered into an arena that you have a decided thought about. So it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what happens. You can't allow the solution in. And there's a really great analogy that talks about the indigenous people. And when Columbus landed, the accounts are that they didn't even see Columbus and his crew until they were already on the shore, because in their minds they couldn't imagine tall clipper ships. They just couldn't imagine it. And so all of a sudden these people are just on the shore. And then as they began to like communicate and interface, then it was like, oh, then we can allow that into our possibility. It really is this sort of like matrix of thought. And it's a really fun, cool game to play when you get used to it, and life becomes intriguing and exciting and really vibrant. So release all of the things that you thought you should be doing, all of the things that you feel like comparatively everyone else is doing around you, and allowing the possibility of what is right for you. It's not going to be what's right for me. It's not going to be what's right for Melissa. It's going to be what's right for you. And that's going to be your indicator, and that's going to be your card to freedom of really not caring at all what anyone has to say or what anyone thinks about you.
I love you. And I love that message.
I love you too.
No, it's, and so, just the main thing, and guys, you're so good. I just like want to reach through and give you I want to like tackle you.
Well,
you
I'm accepting. I'm
currently
accepting cackles and hugs at the moment.
No, that's what I want to do, because I love you so much. But I'm going to see you next week, so it makes me so like you're like the greatest little gift to me today. And every day. So guys, here's the thing. Every week on Cosmic Tea, we are here to support you. So we love your questions. And definitely DM Liv and myself. Let us know what resonated with you. Let us know what questions you have. And we are happy to be here and support. Definitely watch all of the previous 8 episodes of Cosmic Tea. They have been incredible. And if you like this, you'll love all of them because they're so good. And anything else? What else?
Just try one of the techniques this week for yourself. See if it works. See if you hate it. You might hate it. I don't think you will, but you might hate it. So try it out. Bring it to us next week. We want to hear what your experience has been. So
yeah, and so just a recap here. We talked about Liv had mentioned journaling, right? Getting out of your head, getting into your heart, really seeing what are your mindset patterns. That's the greatest way to really know gaps in your mindset and what's really going on, and also to find clarity and guidance as well. It's incredible what happens. So getting out of the heart, getting out of the head, getting into the heart. Also making that list of what things are going on where I do have a fixed mindset. What are beliefs that I've already just kind of said, like, this is just what is, and therefore it must be, and kind of going like, well, does that even feel true for me? And what would I want instead? Like the idea of there's so many things that I'm just like, I don't agree with that at all. I don't even subscribe to it. So I don't even talk about it. And really looking at that for yourself. And then also just going, the only opinion that matters is truly my own. So at the end of the day, did I make myself proud? Do I feel good about the way that I showed up? Because it really doesn't matter what anybody else thinks at all. It only matters what you think. We love your emojis. We love you being here. We're so grateful for you. And the number of people that just keep showing up just keeps growing. Like, we're just
from
so
all
happy.
over the world. It's like the most insane thing. From Australia, staying up till 1 a.m. to visit us.
In
and
India, I'm like, yeah, I'm just like in awe. I'm in awe of each and every one of you. So join us every Wednesday here at 12 p.m. Eastern, 9 a.m. Pacific for Cosmic Tea with Dr. Olivia, Audrey, and Melissa, Kathryn, myself. And DM us. Let us know anything you need. And let us know if you're liking these. That would be the best.
Oh, you're the best and so adorable. And I love you.
I love you. I'm going to shower now.
Okay, that's a great idea.
I'm going to shower
so
after my
much.
run. This is kind of gross. All right, guys. Love you so much. And we'll see you next week.
Bye.
Bye.